I'm Sierra Dalzell, and the topic for my research proposal is how college students currently view police through past interactions. My project overview is basically, of course, reviewing how college students' interactions have affected their interpretation of the police. Why kind of am I looking at this? Well, as we know, this is a hot button topic in today's society, very current, and it's really affecting how people are viewing the police and their interactions with them as well. I also think it's important that within that we will look at how education changes or does not change how they view their interactions with the police, or if it affects their interactions with the police altogether. Just looking at how college educated people are and current college students are interpreting their interactions as a one point of this, and also kind of seeing in today's climate how current college students are interacting with today's media and about the police and how they're interpreting that, which I think is pretty interesting. So kind of my background info / lit review. So when I was doing my lit review, I decided that I want to do kind of basic, just how people in general interpret their interactions with the police, and then as well as how college students and college educated people view their interactions with police. Of course, as we know, race deeply affects how we interpret our interactions with the police for many reasons, such as depending on our race, our interactions with the police are likely to be very different, which of course affects how we interpret our interactions. Another one I didn't even think about being a major factor, but is how females versus males view their interactions with police. Females tend to be a lot more positive about their interpretation about police from their interactions than males are. This is probably in great due because females have less interactions with the police, and when they do, they aren't as troublesome as male interactions with police. Males are more likely to be arrested by police and such, and held by law enforcement, so their view of their interactions are overall just going to be worse than females. Now, college students versus the general public, how does that differ? Actually, it's kind of interesting that, in my opinion, that college educated people don't really have their own levels of how they interpret their interactions with police. It goes along with non-educated people as well, the same levels. However, how they interpret these interactions is slightly different. For example, college education people will, when they have a positive interaction with the police, they will have their opinion of the police improve. However, compared to the likelihood of people who have not gone to college, when they have positive interactions with the police, it is not likely to change their opinion of them. So they're still likely to have more the same opinion they had of the police before they had that positive interaction, which I thought was really interesting. And then, of course, criminal justice / law-related majors versus other majors in further education. Of course, criminal justice / law-related majors are more likely to have a positive view of the police. For many factors, such as we are more likely to have more interaction with the police, more friendly interaction with them as we proceed for education, and as well as criminal justice majors / law-related majors are more likely to have taken classes and learned how bias policing looks like, and they're able to tell and they also know what misconduct and looks like, so they're better to interpret that when they see it compared to the non-criminal justice / law related major, which doesn't make sense, as well as criminal justice / law related majors are also much more likely to remember that when they see negative things in the media about what police officers have done, they know that is most likely an isolated event, and so that is likely not to change their view of the police as well. So my question is, what is the relationship between previous interactions with police and college students' perspective? So my research method, so I'm planning on doing survey given online. The reason why I'm doing this because mostly it's convenient. It's convenient for the people taking the survey, and it's also convenient for me giving the survey, versus giving surveys in person, as we know, is more complicated matter. And I feel like online surveys or surveys in general is convenience for collecting this kind of type of data as well. And as well as I think when I'm putting non-threatening manner is, especially with a topic like this, people are going to differ in their opinions so greatly, and they're going to feel strongly about them. So when people, if you're answering them face to face, it might likely to change them versus how they would say in an anonymous survey, which I am planning on doing. So they're more likely to put exactly how they feel, and it'd be a non-threatening manner for them to express themselves. Sampling. So I'm planning on sampling MSUB students. There's no particular focus, no particular major, just the overall population of MSUB students. And online surveys sent versus via email. I'm doing this, actually, this is kind of one of my holdups. I'm like, how do we sample? It's really kind of, I think, the hardest part, one of the hardest parts of kind of figuring out how to do this. I know I talked to one person in class and who have done their capstone. They said that they took their class lists and they sent out their surveys that way, and I thought that was kind of genius. Definitely easy way to get a number of students. So I think something I'm definitely going to keep on my as an idea, because I just think that's so smart. As well as possible reaching out to different professors I've had over the years from different departments, to please ask them to help me have people do these surveys for me. Hopefully that worked. I don't know if you have any other ideas how to get emails of students to send their survey or how to do this. I would love to hear you on that. And my sample size, I really want to do as big of a sample size as I can possibly. But the minimum is 100. Hopefully there's more. I know that's kind of open-ended and not great for your research proposal, but I just don't know how many emails I'm going to be able to get. Ethical concerns. This research survey is going to slowly ask what your interactions are, such as like if you've been arrested, if you've been pulled over, yada yada. And that's definitely something that with that, and also I'm not sure if I might ask for race. I'm not sure if that, I feel like I should, but I don't know, I don't really want that to be a focus of this, but I feel like I should. So if you're asking someone's race plus interactions with the police and other questions, it is possible these are identifying answers for MSUB students that people can find. It's going to be scale questioning, like strongly agree or stuff like that, so hopefully it's not too identifying, but of course I have to consider that it potentially is, as well as a hot topic right now, and it could upset people thinking about this. I don't think it will be too upsetting, but it's definitely a possibility that I have to consider. And of course the PI tracking of people doing these surveys online could potentially be exposed, as we know. As well, so when I'm going to do minimize these as much as I can. It's not post individual answers and analysis, of course, so I'm not going to interpret anyone as exactly who it's going to be. Password protected survey results, yeah, it's going to be not just open-ended to see who these results are. And I'm going to research how to protect these PI addresses in every possible way versus BI, where survey websites do and how they help with that. So that's also what I'm going to do. So these are kind of my two data quality issues I thought of. Excuse me. So I was talking about class lists and sending out surveys that way. Of course, this factors in. Of course, my two majors are sociology and criminal justice. So yeah, it might be very heavy apply to the survey with these majors, especially considering that I feel like students in these majors are going to be more willing to take the survey because they understand why you're doing it, and they're not as likely to ignore it as other students may be. And I'm also worried about having a small sample size. As I said, I'm kind of like, how do I get the largest sample size I can? So what I'm going to do to counteract this is reach across departments to get as many students in different departments to take the survey. So it's not just, so it's definitely a generalization of students at MSUB. And then, of course, sending out the greatest number of surveys that I can possibly do. My plan for analyzing my data is going to be putting in SPS. I know you can like put in Excel and then put it in SSPS. I'm not sure if that is really beneficial or it's just putting in SSPS and saving, of course, your original copy and then working off another one is like just as beneficial. Opinions on that would also be much appreciated. I don't really see what matters at the current moment. I'm probably just going to put it straight into SSPS. Of course, creating a code book, something you kind of have to do, what codes will represent what in my survey. And doing the alpha test. I think this is an important one because it's going to tell me if my skills are reliable when I first test it out. And then CODIS Kappa, I think this is a good one for kind of testing two raters versus each other, as well as the t-test. I think is good because it's comparing results with each other, as well as chi-square is good because it's kind of telling you where answers fall on your medium and stuff. So I will be honest, this is something that I'm most nervous about for this because I feel just really intimidating. So if you're like looking at my test plan and being like, oh, it's not so great, please feel free to correct me or give me suggestions on what would work better for me. Project infiltration. So why is this important? As I mentioned, it's a major view problem in today's world. It's also interesting to see how college students will view the police now, as they are a certain part of the population. So it will be interesting to view how they view the police, especially since it's kind of, it's studied, but it's not majorly studied. I've came across a lot of resources, but not very many, especially in our part of the country. There's Canada, other countries, but in the US it's mostly Eastern cities where they study, so I think that's important. And selection of device. Okay, so am I overlooking ethical concerns? Thoughts on lit review? Are you thinking I'm missing anything major there? Data analyst, as I mentioned, I would appreciate a lot of help there, any help. And then, of course, anything and everything. If you comment on anything in here that you feel like needs help or isn't correct, even if you're like, your title's stupid, I would appreciate that comment. Basically anything and everything I would appreciate your notes on. Thank you so much, guys. I look forward to watching and reviewing some of your presentations.